We're previewing Thursday. There are 5 games on. It is the final day of NBA games before the NBA All-Star break. Have I said enough SEO NBA keywords, fantasy basketball? Michael Bolton?
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I just got back from taking part in the Macro Dat Uprising. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky, joshloyd.bsky.social, on Twitter at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Thanks for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free, and we're available on all platforms. Also, talk about free stuff. Why don't you go to lockedondaily.com? You can find the best newsletter for your favorite team. That is lockedondaily.com. You get a little fantasy dribble from there in me. No, don't dribble in me. You get a dribble from me in there, in your inbox, 5 days a week for free. It is National Cheddar Day, so we give you the cheese for Thursday's games. There are 5 of them on. We are trying to be as corny as we can here as we look at what is on my radar. Now, because every single one of these teams, due to the NBA's scheduling brilliance, plays on Wednesday, all 15 games, 30 teams, everyone plays. Everybody's on a back-to-back. And we are just before the All-Star break. You've already seen it today for Wednesday's game. It's Damian Lillard is out for his hamstring to give him time to rest and recover it over the All-Star break. Now, again, he's played 43 minutes and 39 minutes the last 2 games. Probably a bit too much. I very much wonder, is this time off to rest his hamstring through the All-Star break include playing in the All-Star game? We'll find out. But this is going to happen. There is going to be absolute foolishness all the way through here. And then we get the big reset over the break, and then we get different foolishness happening after that, which we've all just got to be aware of. So, normally when I do these daily look-ahead shows, I'd put up and go, what am I watching for? Who are the players? One player on each team that I want to see what their role is, and then give some streaming options. I'm not going to do that today because I can tell you that I'm going to watch this, but we're going to see that on Wednesday already. So what I'm just going to do is give you 2 streamers from each team, and then bang it out with a bit of schedule stuff, and then the streams of the day at the end. But what I also want to hear from you guys, because you guys who watch the daily look-ahead show, the daily preview show, it's not everybody. I know this. It is the shows that don't get the biggest views and the biggest listens. I understand that. But you guys are the legends, the OGs. Maybe not even OGs. You're just the hardcore supporters and hardcore fantasy players. So what I want to hear from you guys, if you're on Spotify, you can drop it in the comments. You can tweet it at me. It is probably easier to drop it in the YouTube comments because then I see it all there. But tell me what sort of shows you want me to do over the All-Star break. I'll tell you right now that I'm not doing a show across my weekend. I'll have a couple of days off, right? I'll just have 2 days off, but then we'll smash out a lot of stuff early next week. So I just want to know, I've got some ideas in my head. I'm not going to spoil them just yet because they're super secret ideas. But if there's anything specific you want, drop them down below. Drop 100 different ideas if you want. I'm obviously not going to do 100 shows, although you never know. But drop them down below, and we'll go from there. So, first game. Warriors-Rockets is the first one on Thursday. I will say it now, and I won't say it again. Every one of these teams is coming in on a back-to-back. In terms of the schedule stuff, there I've got both team schedules down the bottom. We are in a situation here where the only high-volume day that is left is Sunday next week for this matchup. That's the only high-volume day that is left. So teams that play on Sunday have got one fewer high-volume day than others. Kuminga's going to be out. We know that. He'll come back after the break. Steph Curry, I just put him as questionable because it is a back-to-back. It is a game leading into the All-Star break. Steph is going to play in the All-Star game. It is always an opportunity. And this is the problem when the NBA has 82 regular season games and the game is so physically taxing that you need to be able to give players time off, especially if they don't get recuperation, rehab time across the All-Star break. So just don't be shocked if Steph sits this one. VanVleet's out. He'll be back after the break, I'm guessing. Jabari Smith is going to be back after the break. I don't think that Jabari is necessarily 100% a must-roster player with this news. I think what it does do is obviously move Tari Eason well down, and I'm not sure. Like, if you had an opportunity to move off of Eason to grab Don Klingon, for example, by the way, the stuff that I talked about with DeAndre Ayton in yesterday's show and in today's show, where I said I think this is a long-term injury, I would say that we're talking 4 weeks minimum, probably end of season for him. The news came out today that he's reevaluated in 4 weeks with a calf strain. The information that I was told prior to that release was exactly in line with this, and I don't think DeAndre Ayton returns. I think he's a clear drop. I don't think he's going to play. I don't know what they're going to do with Klingon and Williams. It would make sense that they play Klingon, so you add Klingon. And if you wanted to make a move and drop Eason to add Klingon, I think that's totally reasonable. Is Jabari, like I'd much rather have Klingon than Jabari, to be honest. So Jabari's out. Tari Eason, I don't expect to play. He's going to play on Wednesday, so I don't think that he plays on Thursday. Steven Adams is going to play on Wednesday, so I don't think he plays on Thursday. And then the other one we don't know about is Alperen Şengün, who is questionable still for Wednesday with a back issue. They could be in real, we have no big man mode if Eason and Adams are out. Are we going to do a Jock Landale? Probably. Jeff Green, those sort of guys, with more for Whitmore and Holiday and Shepherd and these guys too. So the stream options there on Golden State, they started Moses Moody last game. They went small with no Quinton Post. I don't know that they'll do that again. They probably won't. They did it very specifically. Steve Kerr said that he did it because it was against Damian Lillard. And we don't quite have that level of dynamic shooter/scorer on the Rockets. So I don't know that they go back to that. But Hield and Podziemski, well, Podziemski's too highly rostered to qualify for my numbers here. But Hield and Moses Moody are probably the Warriors guys that I look to stream. On the Rockets, it's nearly just always going to be Dylan Brooks. And then the other one there is Cam Whitmore. Again, with the assumption that Eason is out, Smith is out, Van Vliet is out, maybe Adams is out, maybe Şengün is out. And then you get opportunities for Whitmore, and then it could be Aaron Holiday, who started last time. It could be Reed Shepherd. It could be a few other different guys that they can slide into those spots. The next game is the Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans. This one's a little bit more complicated in terms of trying to figure out what's going on. The Kings have got a dreadful schedule. They play Thursday, this day, and then next week they have one game. Nobody else has one game next week. It's just them on Friday. Not that you have many fringe Kings guys, but the only one who comes to mind is Keon Ellis, whose numbers haven't been great. The minutes are up, and I do think we want to roster him, but it is a very tough hold for over the next, 6 game days? Over the next 6 game days, they play twice. It's not very good. Kelly Olynyk is ruled out for Wednesday for the Pelicans, and it says not with team. So my estimation is that he won't play for them. That's my guess. If Bruce Brown is available, and he is, and Kelly Olynyk is listed not with team, that suggests to me that they have no plans on playing Kelly Olynyk, so I don't think he's going to go here. BJ Boston is out on Wednesday with that ankle sprain. It wouldn't seem likely that he plays in the game on Thursday, just given it looked like not a great ankle injury. And then again, you take that game off and you get 7 extra days of rest without interrupting the rehab process. The big question is going to be about the big fella Zion Williamson, because he's currently listed questionable on Wednesday. Originally, I just ruled him out on Thursday. I said he won't play the back-to-back, so he'll sit Thursday, be out for the back-to-back. But if he sits on Wednesday, then maybe he plays on Thursday. But I don't know. So that one is going to alter at the moment. The way I'm projecting it in terms of streaming guys in is that Zion plays Wednesday and sits Thursday. But I don't know. Jamal Cain is out on Wednesday. Not that he makes that much of a difference, but yeah, I'll put him questionable for Thursday. King streamers, it's very clearly Keon Ellis is the really only guy who falls into that discussion. The other one would be Jake LaRavia. And then further down from that is Trey Lyles, but that's deeper league stuff. On the Pelicans, there are a lot, right? Jose Alvarado is probably going to start, I would guess. I expect that he starts. Carlo Makovic probably doesn't start unless Zion is out. And if Zion is out, Carlo will start. So I actually like both of these guys as really strong options for Thursday and also long-term rest of season. There's value in both of them just because of those particular and likely absences. Today's episode is brought to you by Wayfair. You like a cluttered desk? Of course you don't. Why would you? Sometimes just making that little refresh after all of the hustle and bustle of the holidays could make all the difference. It can change your focus. It can change your productivity, tidying up, clearing out, whatever you just want to do, or it's just giving your space a new look. Wayfair has everything that you need all within your budget. So when you're searching for that furniture, it's so easy to find it on their website, and one of the best parts of it is they have free and hassle-free delivery even for the larger items. Wayfair site is so easy to navigate. Everything that you need to find is there and easy to get to in no time. The items are going to look great when you get them. The delivery process is simple. It is so straightforward. So give your home the refresh that it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That is WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Okay, let's go on to the third game of the day. We're looking at the Miami Heat and the Dallas Mavericks. This is an incredibly long injury list. Incredibly long. Both these teams have identical schedules, so 2 quality games for the rest of the matchup. Kevin Love dealing with a personal issue again. I don't know whether he plays. Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and Tyler Hero are all questionable on Wednesday. So I'll put them questionable on Thursday. And the chances, because Robinson, Rozier, Hero, all guards, Jaquez is a wing. If 1 or 2 of those guys are out, then you're going to get big opportunities, unbelievably, for Alec Burks, who started last game. And Davion Mitchell as well, but more so Burks. So just, we keep an eye on that. For the Mavs, what about that update on Anthony Davis today again, from Mark Stein, which again keeps raising my eyebrows? My assumption here on Davis continually has been, and this happens often, right? Someone goes, what did you think of the new update on Davis? Literally what we thought all along. Because Mark Stein said, yeah, they're pretty hopeful they can do something to avoid surgery, and they just keep saying that. And the fact that they keep saying that, and the fact that surgery is still somewhat of an option, makes it really bad. The fact that they avoid surgery, the initial reaction goes, that's easy then, they avoided surgery. No, the fact that you discuss surgery for a core muscle injury means it is terrible. It would be worse if it was surgery, which they have not ruled out. It would be worse if they did that. But the fact that it is even, imagine you went there and knocked your leg on a table, right? This is not quite the same thing, knocked your leg on the table. That hurts a little bit. And he goes, geez, what's a bit sore? You go there. Doctor goes, yeah, maybe we'll think about surgery. Go, excuse me, I just hit my leg on the table. This is not a serious injury. No, we're not doing surgery. We're just we'll see if we can rule it out. Rule it out now, my guy. I got a bruise. Just rule it out. No, we'll just wait. That's what I'm talking about. That would never be discussed for something that wasn't significant. Even if they don't go that route, it would never be discussed if it wasn't serious. So, back to that. When the hell is Anthony Davis going to play? I think I originally said 10% chance he's done. I might bump that. I might bump that. I'm not going to quite raise the roof, but I might put it to 15% that he might be done for the year. I'll tell you this, the chances of Anthony Davis playing in the fantasy season through fantasy playoffs, well, let's put it this way. Will Anthony Davis play in the fantasy regular season? Nah, no way. That's not happening. Will he play in the fantasy playoffs? That's got to be 50-50 to me. It's got to be 50-50. I would think we are at a significant chance here that my leagues end on March the 23rd. I think that Davis, Gafford, and Lively all will not play any games until those seasons are over, is my guess. That's a guess. Could be completely wrong. That's a guess. Anyway, Davis is out, Gafford's out, Lively's out, Powell's out, Caleb Martin's out. Dante Exum is questionable, and so is PJ Washington for Wednesday's game. If PJ's out, what the hell are they going to do? Najee Marshall, Olivier Maxence Prosper, I'm guessing, and you can desperation stream those guys through. But that's really a bad spot. Stream guys in Miami, Little Chungus, Nikola Jovic, and Alec Burks. And then for the Mavs, Maxi Christie, Najee Marshall, you got Omax in there as well. And maybe for deeper leagues, maybe it is Kylor Kelly. Maybe. It's pretty desperation times if it is. The next game we look at is the Thunder and the Wolves in Minnesota. Should be a good matchup. Both these teams with the same schedules as well. Cason Wallace, the Hong Kong mattress, is out on Wednesday. I don't think he plays. It's one of those situations where the injury sounds pretty significant, this shoulder sprain, and they just rule him out day after day after day, which is, they've had a pattern. Outside of the Chet injury, they did this, and they're incredibly this organization is the most tight-lipped organization in the NBA. Anyone have any idea that Isaiah Hartenstein was coming back? Nah, just came back. Chet? Nah, there he is, just back. Nobody has any idea what goes on in this organization. Alex Caruso was just ruled out day after day after day after day for a month. And I think we're at that same spot with Wallace. And so to me, there is no chance that he plays Cason Wallace in this game. AJ Mitchell's out. Usman Jeng is out on Wednesday. All right, maybe he plays, I don't know. Chet Holmgren's out Wednesday, so he will play on Thursday. Randall and DiVincenzo are going to be out for Minnesota. Mike Conley and Anthony Edwards are still questionable on Wednesday's game. If they are out, both of them, then you do go to Alexander Walker, you go to Dillingham, and you go to Jalen Clark as your stream options. So on the Thunder streaming side, Lou Dort and Aaron Wiggins, the easiest stream options you'll find there. Isaiah Joe is back, so just watch how that impacts things. And then Alexander Walker is the Wolves guy. And Robert Dillingham, who would get a bump. We just have to wait to see if those other guys are out. But he's further down the list at the moment. But it could rise up if Conley/Edwards do happen to be sidelined. The fifth and final game for Thursday is another game where I'm trying to... my job is forward forecasting, crystal ball stuff, like fortune telling. Like I try to project stuff out. It's not... To me, there's no point in any of this stuff or my job or this show, which I do. I do a little bit of it, like, just, hey, this happened. But the benefit of saying what happened is to get to what will happen. Right? That's like, he was ranked this number there. Okay, but does that make any sense to move forward? Oh, let's wait and see what a team says about an injury. No, we sort of have to make a move because we're all double onyxers over here. We've got to make the moves. We've got to think forward, and it can go wrong because we don't know. We don't know the future of anything. In saying that, what the hell do we do here? Clippers and Jazz. Drew Eubanks sprained his ankle for the Clippers. Will he get back for a revenge game? No. Kawhi Leonard, I'm guessing, is going to sit. It's a back-to-back. I'll put him doubtful because you just never know. Ben Simmons. Yeah, he plays for the Clippers now. No, you don't add Ben Simmons. You can stream him today, maybe. But no, I have had multiple questions. Hey, do we, 12-team add Ben Simmons? No. No, not at all. Not in a million years. But he's out on Wednesday, Benny, so I do think he plays on Thursday. I didn't put this man on the list, Bogdanovic. He's going to play on Wednesday. He's been out for a little bit of time with this, hey, don't get injured while we trade you. There is a shot that he doesn't play in the back-to-back given the hamstring and knee injuries that he's had. So I haven't put him there, but there is a chance that Bogdan plays Wednesday and not on Thursday. And then for the Jazz. Colin Sexton with a sprained ankle. Originally I said about a week, which puts you right at this timeline, so theoretically he could play on Thursday. Surely not. Surely not. I doubt he would come back for one game pre-All-Star, but I don't know. I'll rule him out. KJ Martin coming across over from the trade. I doubt he plays. I think he'll be part of the cultural reset through the All-Star break, is my guess. And we have seen the pattern of this all the way through for the last 6 weeks, maybe, on back-to-backs. And I am going to go just double-check this because I want to make sure that I am being accurate on this. Right, so what I wanted to check was whether the Jazz had put any injury updates for today's game, and they haven't. We did get just some interesting injury news, which I'll talk about after this game, in general. So they didn't. So Markkanen, Kessler, Collins, Clarkson are all playing on Wednesday. I'm going to be really, really, really shocked if Lowry's back and Collins' hip and Kessler's shoulder and Clarkson's foot don't cause a problem for them to sit out Thursday. It would make no sense given what the Jazz have done. So I'm heading into this game on Thursday expecting Kawhi to be out, Markkanen to be out, Kessler to be out, Collins to be out, Sexton to be out, Clarkson to be out. But I don't know any of that. That is what I assume. So, streaming options. Derek Jones and Chris Dunn. Bogdan would be interesting if he was available, but I'm not even sure he plays. And then the Jazz, well, I'll put Isaiah Collier's name there just because he's still sitting at under 40% on Yahoo. The easiest ad of all time. Please stop overthinking this. He's up to 100% on Basketball Monster, so everyone there is on board. On Yahoo, this is still like, come on. Add him, please. The next one is Svi Mykhailiuk, but you might get Kyle Filipowski. You might get Bryce Sensabaugh. You might even get old mate Micah Potter. I think there's going to be no Sexton, Markkanen, Collins, Clarkson, Kessler. But they could all randomly play and screw this up. I just don't know. So the injury updates that I got, a couple of things. We got a couple of Hawks injury updates. Larry Nance with a fracture in the leg. Season over. We need to very much watch what the Hawks do. Does Capella play today? Because if he doesn't, I actually think we do this anyway. I think you can just go and add Muhammad Wayuge. Because he can start at the 4, he can play the backup 5. And Nance is out. I don't know whether Capella will play or not. And Domi Barlow is going to be an interesting deep league guy. George Niang also interesting because Vic Krejci is out for 4 weeks with a back injury. So the two guys who are playing a lot of these minutes at the 3 and 4 and 4 and 5 are done for a month to a full season. So, yeah, just be aware of that. We also got the news about Brandon Ingram, who's like a month away, and the Raptors are saying they're going to reevaluate him in 2-week intervals, and Darko Rajakovic is saying, I'm not even sure he'll play in a game this season. You can drop Brandon Ingram. Like, that's easy. I don't know what happened to bro. Like, we sprained an ankle. We never got any indication what the injury actually was. He's not playing. The tank is on. Drop him. I no problem with that. He's done. And then the other news is Tyrese Maxey and Moussa Diabate are out for today's game. So you're going to get a bit of all my Jared Butler action, I would say. No Maxey, no Embiid. You're going to get a fair bit of Grimy as well. So that's just some injury news that dropped right now. Ingram, Nance, Krejci. Oh, the other one is Herb Jones had his surgery and it's a torn rotator cuff. Oh, thanks. Any chance you could have told us 6 weeks ago? Like, I knew. Like, I didn't know it was a torn rotator cuff. And I don't want to say I knew. I was 98% sure he was done for the season. Right? That we said that. But if you had just said, hey, he tore his rotator cuff like he's done, what are we doing here? These dickheads. Oh, the Pelicans, you're hiding the information. Ooh. Look, that worked so well. So tricky. So tricky, those tricky dicky Pelicans. Let's take a look at some schedule stuff. Obviously, every team comes in on the back-to-back, and then they've all got 5 days off, so no back-to-back type action, and the only teams that play the first day back are the Lakers and the Hornets, and neither of those teams play on the Thursday. So instead, we're going to chunk it up and look at the next 5 NBA game days. Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. These 6 names are all 40% below rostered. Isaiah Collier, come on. There are 2 names you will see if you're watching on video that are highlighted. It's Don Klingon and it's Tamani Kamara. They only have 2 games in those next 5 days. But I think their value is good enough that you just roster them. Don Klingon just needs to be rostered. There's a million must-adds happening at the moment, by the way. Donovan Klingon has to be rostered. Jackson Hayes, 3 games, 5 nights. Don't know that Alex Lynn impacts him a huge amount, but the volume of games there is good. Dylan Brooks, and then old mate Nick Smith. LaMelo might return after the break. I think he probably does, to be honest, but they enter after the break with a back-to-back, so he probably doesn't play both of them anyway. So Nick Smith is in the mix. And like I said, Tamani Kamara is the other name down there on that list. We've got, over the next 7 game nights, we've got 2 teams playing 2 games. The Celtics and the Raptors. So, I was going to say, like, I know that someone in the comments in the chat's going to be, Ingram out, who's the ad? He literally hasn't played a single game for Toronto. So, we sort of have seen what's going on. Unless you're completely enamored by Ochai Agbaji or Jacoby Walter, Gary Trent III, probably no one. And the other thing is Barrett still has to come back in there as well. But also remember that these guys, Barrett, Barnes, quickly maybe less so, but Pirtle, they're not going to play out the season. I'm pretty sure of that too. But I don't know that one at all for sure. Let's look at some streaming options, the streams of the day for Thursday, final day before the All-Star break. Again, there's going to be shows over the All-Star break, so don't leave me, please. Keep me company. The stream of the day, 10-teamer. I'm going with Carlo Makovic. And you might say that's a little ballsy. It is. I'm working under the assumption Zion doesn't play. And whether that's a fair assumption or not, I don't know. But that's what I'm working on. 12-team, I go Derek Jones. 14 teams and 16 teams, well, it's all contingent on the Jazz resting players. Mihailuk and Filipowski, and they're just widely available everywhere. Your Yahoo points and ESPN point streamers are Isaiah Collier, and they're just clear must-roster player, and don't overthink that. 10-team stream options, I've got Carlo right up the top there. Then we go to Jose Alvarado, Derek Jones, Svi Mihailuk, and Kyle Filipowski, followed by Lou Dort. Obviously, Mihailuk and Filipowski, if somehow these guys all play, their value would drop down. For 12s, we're going to Najee Marshall with the absences in Dallas, maybe even PJ being out. Alex Caruso, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who would jump up if Conley and Edwards are out. Chris Dunn, Javonte Green, and Jordan Hawkins become stream options there as well. For deeper leagues, I am going to put Ben Simmons on the deep league stream list. He's still James Harden's backup. If Harden does happen to sit, then Simmons might even be a 12-team streamer, and he could do it anyway, but he's not anywhere close to an ad. Bryce Sensible's there, Moses Moody, Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, and Micah Potter. Yahoo points streaming. Isaiah Collier, unsurprisingly, is at the top. Yves Misi, Carlo Makovic, Kyle Filipowski, Jose Alvarado, and Little Chungus Nikola Jovic. And then on ESPN Points Leagues, it's Collier again. It's Jose Alvarado. It's Nikola Jovic, Eve Misi, Carlo Makovic, and Keon Alice. And that is the final preview show for this little period of time. We'll have more, don't worry. Hit the thumb on the video. Stick around. Give me your thoughts on some shows you might want to see. No promises that we do them, but it's always good to have some ideas come through. Keep yourself safe, happy, positive, and industrious. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.